So, you want to know what this all means? Well, you came to the right place. Everything in Baldur's Gate 3 revolves around dice. From the dialogue to the combat and even exploration. The first thing you need to learn is being able to decipher what it all means. Let's start with the basic one. Concussive smash. It says 1d8. What does 1d8 mean? It means the damage from concussive smash is the result of rolling one instance of an 8-sided die. So 1 means 1 time. D8 means 8-sided die. Here we have smite. It's 2d8. So it means the game rolls 2 8-sided dice and add the result. These are the dice that will be used by the game. We have a D4, a D6, a D8, a D10, and a D12. These are mostly used during combat for damage, healing, or other bonuses. These dice are less impactful than the next one. The dice that will decide your fate. The D20. Whether in combat or out of combat, your success or failure is determined by rolling a d20 plus modifier versus the target. If you meet or beat the target, you succeed. If you don't, you fail. Let's break this all down. Let's start from top to bottom. The target is what you need to meet or beat. Out of combat, this is a difficulty class, or DC. It represents the complexity of a task that you are attempting. Opening a chest used by a druid is much simpler than opening a chest that is used by a crime syndicate. In combat, if you are trying to attack someone, your target is the AC, or armor class, which represent their reflex or the toughness of their defenses. And if you are trying to avoid a spell effect, like mind control or a fireball, you will go against a spell save DC, which represent from your willpower or reflex to avoid an explosion. I will go more in depth about these mechanics during the combat portion of this guide series. So let's move to the big dice in the middle. So rolling a d20 itself is called a natural roll, which means it has no modifiers yet. You only need to worry about 2 natural numbers, which is the natural 1 and the natural 20. Outside of combat, the natural 1 automatically fails, whatever the target is. If you roll a natural 20, you instantly succeed, no matter the target. In combat, a natural 1 is a critical miss, which automatically miss. And a natural 20 is a critical hit. And there's also situations you will roll 2 d20s, which is called advantage or disadvantage. An advantage is you roll 2 d20s and you take the higher result. A disadvantage is you roll 2 d20s and you take the lower one. This can be gained situationally or via spells. Well, that's it for the natural part of the roll. Let's talk about modifiers. Modifiers are basically additive or subtractive to your result. The first modifier, which is ability score modifiers. As ability score modifiers imply, it comes from your ability scores, which are strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. These scores have a baseline of 10. 10 ability score will give you 0. Every 2 above 10 will give you a +1. Every 2 score below 10 will give you -1. This brings us to the skill proficiency bonus. Every ability score have their own particular set of skills that they govern. For example, charisma governs deception, intimidation, and persuasion, which basically means if you are proficient in these skills, you will add a proficiency bonus aside from the ability score bonus. So let's say Astarion, a resident rogue and bear enthusiast, is trying to lockpick. He will have a proficiency bonus for sleight of hand on top of the dexterity bonus from the sleight of hand itself. Proficiency bonus gets higher at set levels. Now, for the last bonuses section is Most of them are spells or situational bonuses. Like for example, spoilers, Astarion is a vampire. He gets a +1 bonus from feeding blood. If you got feeded on, you get a minus bonus, which is not a bonus. And by the way, there is something called an inspiration. You can use inspiration to, well, reroll again. That's redundant. So you can try and try again until you're out of inspiration. And you gain inspiration by being in character. So if you're an urchin, you should really care about kids. If you are a charlatan, you should really try to trick people. So save those inspiration for important roles or roles that you don't want to fail. But on that note, I would really encourage you to not save scum. Just like Sven said, trust the dice. Your playthrough is only unique if it's not perfect.